Hello, and welcome to the long-awaited episode number 112 of the Book Wars Pod. I'm fucking crap.
I'm air horn sounds like Miranda.
Oh, Jesus. I'm Kate, and I'm here with Chris and Kristen and Miranda, and we are discussing Myths and Fables.
Wait, I'm here.
She said you. Pay attention.
Wait, did she?
Yes!
I did.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Everybody go wash your hands.
Yes.
Please.
All right, so we're discussing Myth and Fables by George Mann. As of recording,
theoretically.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So it is, as of recording, it is March 18th. Welcome to whatever
Welcome to hell.
Yeah, we're
There's gonna be a lot of DJ air horn because
that's fine.
It's meant for emphasis, and this whole time is emphasis.
Yeah,
an
welcome
emphasis
to
kind of time.
I know. Well, welcome to whatever the fuck this is. I hope that y'all are healthy and staying the fuck inside if you can. I know some of you have jobs where you can't stay inside, but please wash your hands lots. And
wash
don't
your hands right now again.
Yeah.
In addition to the first time I told you.
Yeah, and don't breathe on old people.
So
don't
breathe at all if you can help it.
True.
Yeah, honestly, that's
accurate.
only known way to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
Yes, definitely can't catch
Chris
it,
is
can't
trying
breathe.
not to give his mic coronavirus. That's why he's not speaking into it.
Jesus.
I quit. I'm quitting the pod.
Oh my god, shut up. So all right,
Chris
so
does this thing where he thinks he's speaking into the mic and he's absolutely not
I'm
speaking into the mic,
He's
so I
like-
really
I'm
enjoy that.
Leaning backwards in the chair by the door of the room.
He's like,
Facing into the hallway.
are you?
Chris doesn't understand that your mouth literally needs to be like on top of the mic. So
Yeah, that's what these mics, that's
I'm
why the
literally sitting like
Patreons,
this.
That's why you.
that's why the Patreons paid for these mics. It's so that they don't pick up 78 dog noises in the background of every single pod we do.
And
You're like, my mouth is touching the windscreen of my mic when I talk always.
Sometimes I accidentally lick the mic.
Lick it.
All right, that's
Anyway.
that's
I literally
not
can't hear
sincere.
Chris, so hopefully he's not saying anything important this whole
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go around and ask what people are drinking, but also we have been dead for a while, such that people on Twitter have been giving us shit. So I need y'all to explain the various reasons why we have been dead, which are many. Honestly.
To be fair, people should be giving us shit on Twitter even when we're putting out regular content.
True.
We fucking deserve
So, also, this is a free, terrible podcast. So, that is why we put out content never. And it's
Yeah,
for
I mean,
people who
you're-
have anxiety and depression. So, you're
getting what
I'm
they
surprised
pay
you ever get a podcast. To be
I mean,
honest.
To be fair, I'm in school now and I can't be like literally up
gonna
everyone's
say,
ass, but like I
Mother-
always am. So
Oh, it stresses
was
me
gonna
out that we
say-
don't have a set date because I like routine.
oh my
Well,
god.
that
What's
too.
that day for what?
For
For
recording.
release?
For recording.
Oh,
I mean, we could do that. Anyway, also,
it
just
wouldn't work. We've tried to do it before. Anyway,
true.
We have.
let it be known that Kate has not been on an episode in which we discuss a book. She's been on bonuses. Hasn't been on an episode in which we discuss a book since September 12th, 2019.
Oh god.
oh god, that's very far
That
away.
was
Chris,
episode 100, Master and Apprentice.
Oh god.
no one's gonna edit this, so everyone can listen to me tell you this. Just turn your gain up,
Okay.
because like if you're gonna be wherever you are, it's not loud enough. It doesn't sound like you're talking into the mic.
How's this?
Better.
Ooh.
Much better. Cool.
Cool.
Good
right.
talk, everyone. We've been not doing anything important except for Kate. Kate's doing a learning and teaching.
Orca's been not dying. That was important.
Allegedly. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Orca was
that's
super important. Oh, Jasper had Giardia for 2 weeks, which is like not life threatening, so it's totally fine. He just was
unpleasant,
shitting
though.
everywhere.
very unpleasant.
Yeah. Oh my God,
right.
wait. I forgot to tell you guys. This is not
Oh, no.
important, but we had to go get him groomed because the vet was like,
Yeah.
after he has Giardia, you have to get him groomed because he's a long-haired dog and otherwise
Sure.
he's going to give himself Giardia again
Sure.
because he's just going to shit all over himself, which
Yep.
was
Yes.
accurate.
Great.
Anyway, so we're like friends with his groomer. We like know her well. She's like the one who does all of the soccer people's dogs, and she's a wonderful, wonderful lady. And she was like, just so you know, I like scrubbed his butthole a lot, and it's still like stained with yellow. So you're just gonna have to wait for it to grow out. And I'm really sorry, but like I washed it 3 times, and I was like, yeah, he's a disgusting piece of shit dog right now. And also, like, he won't stop licking his butthole. So, like, it's probably half from poop and half from Jasper licking it.
It's so tasty.
It's so tasty to give yourself Giardia over and over again. Anyway, he went to the vet. He went to the vet and then he went and got groomed. So he's totally fine, but he's a disaster area of a dog, as usual. Anyway.
He's a disaster by.
Orca's not dead, which is the best news anyone has ever gotten in weeks.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Good
Chris,
boy.
what are you drinking, and what the fuck have we been going through for the past like several?
I, against all odds, I'm drinking a White Claw.
Yeah, bitch.
I'm
What
drinking
flavor?
a mango White Claw.
We got
Ooh,
mango.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah.
had mangoes. It's so good.
Mango
It's
is
very
so
good.
good.
It's
Oh
funny
my god.
because this whole time I thought I hated White Claw, and then we were over
No.
at friend's place.
We've
Just-
only had the bootleg ass shit.
Yeah, well, we were over. At
Oh
friend's
no,
place, like right
you
before
don't
the
get
quarantine came
off-brand
down.
White Claw.
Okay,
And,
like
well, so I had previously tasted Trader Joe's brand White Claw, and listen, all love to Trader Joe's. They're a wonderful company. By all accounts, they treat their employees well. Their products are usually very good. But why is that shit so sweet?
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
White Claw is one of those things where like you don't go off-brand.
Well, like, and Trulia is like a different thing because
Yeah.
Trulia's been around for a while, and I feel
And
like the
it's-
Trader Joe's is also like a different thing. I feel like every off-brand White Claw is like a different product.
They're all fine, but they're not White Claw.
Well, it's like cheap beer. Everybody has like their preference for what, like Miranda really doesn't like Miller High Life, but like we'll drink Miller Lite. And I feel like that's the same thing with like different flavors / different types of seltzer water, but
That's
it's also it's also seltzer malt beverage in America, so it's the worst tasting thing of all time, no matter what.
God. We love the Claw.
It's just made with like corn, but whatever. Nothing matters. The world is ending.
That's the American way.
I know.
How
Exactly.
dare you insult?
And anyway, so
friend.
what for
Okay, you're
several
actually
weeks-
not speaking into the mic now.
I'm literally speaking into the microphone.
Kate,
Kristen.
is he actually speaking into the mic?
He's doing his best.
Are his lips touching the mic?
No.
Okay, then he's not speaking into the mic.
Great. How's this?
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
That is how you're supposed to speak into the
Jesus.
mic. Sorry, that's how the mics work. That's how it
Fucking God.
happens.
All right. Anyway, so it was like there was a
It's not my
solid
fault. I didn't invent microphones, Chris.
there was a there was a solid 6-week gap between episodes, at least 2 of which were because Orca, one of 2 official dogs of the pod, apparently has an autoimmune disease, which was a very scary time, and he was in the hospital for a few days, but he is back to normal. He is healthy. We're very happy. And so we appreciate y'all's patience while we dealt with that mental breakdown.
He's a good boy.
Doesn't he have like 100,000 good T cells or some shit now?
He's
Now he's
eating his
back
own
up to
platelets.
400,000 platelets, which is where he's supposed to be.
Holy shit.
Up from 0. Literally took him
fucking
to the
Christ.
hospital, and they're like, well, we got this platelet reading of 0, but that can't be right, so we're going to run it again. Come back. No, he has no platelets.
And somehow isn't dead. So like,
Yeah.
Orca's the real MVP of the pod.
This is true. And since he has an autoimmune disease, Orca, just like the other members of the Lou Cedar household, is practicing social distancing.
Yay.
Good. Good
Poor
boy.
baby.
Good babies.
If you want to know specifically what was wrong with him, you can Google immune-mediated thrombocytopenia, which is a lovely collection of words that
You can
basically...
also DM us.
That's true.
Because I can't spell that.
No, I can't spell most words.
I
Such
can't
as-
spell science words.
The
Basically, his body was just eating his platelets, and then he had 6 of them.
You honestly fucking hate to see it.
Yeah, it wasn't
And we are
great.
so happy that the boy is good.
The poor baby.
Yeah. Shouts
Good
to
baby.
nobody will fucking know who they are, but shouts to Alpenglow Animal Hospital in Boulder because they were
Hey.
delightful and saved our dog's life.
I was just trying to do
Love
little
that shit.
snaps
Yeah,
for
snaps for them.
the animal hospital.
Also, shouts to pet insurance. I'm just saying.
Fuck
Yo.
yes.
Oh my god.
When we first got Orca, I was of the opinion that pet insurance is a scam, and it's still
Nope.
mostly a scam. But
Hey,
when we got him, he has a heart murmur in addition to everything else, and so the vet told me, get pet insurance. You're not going to need it until you really need it, but then you're really going to need it.
Yep.
And boy, was that right, because he was in the hospital for 3 days and it cost $7,000, which we
Yup.
thankfully did not have to pay.
that's what it's for.
It's true. So
Get
yeah,
pet insurance just like any other insurance, please.
Well, if
true.
you guys marry me, I can get you pet insurance for my job.
The New York's newest throuple is
yeah, so the
Herb
worst 3 days of our lives, I had to like get a friend to like sub my class for me.
shout out to that friend.
Yeah, seriously.
For real.
Who is
Hopefully they don't listen to this pod because it's bad.
she does not, because she cares not about Star Wars, and her life is probably significantly
Perfect.
happier
Good.
for it.
It's so much better because she doesn't listen to it.
It's true. So between all of that, I was also trying to teach my children, and the world was exploding, and all
You
of
could
that.
suck a dick this semester. Sorry. Listen, I speak truth only.
They're special.
Mhm.
They're doing great with the online learning though, because I'm not hosting class live, so they're just like, thank God, and I'm like, yeah, thank God.
Those bubs.
And then you two were traveling, I believe.
We were.
I was gone for like all of February.
Yeah, I had a wedding, and Burb was gone. It was a whole thing. Where were
Yeah.
you, Burb? You were in
Which
DC.
weekend?
I don't fucking know.
In
You were in DC
February,
and then California.
I went to Minneapolis, and then I went to
Yeah.
Berkeley, and then I went to DC.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
those were 3 places in 3 weekends.
And now I'm tired.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And we had people in town for a hot second too.
Yes.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
right. That happened. So yeah, no, it's been a time.
What
What are
we're
you
saying
drinking,
is
Mom?
thank you for your patience.
Yes.
Yes.
What are you?
What are you drinking though, Mom?
I'm having a mango White Claw. Chris
Oh,
got me
yum.
mango because he knows I love mango flavored.
Fuck yeah.
Don't
Like that's one of the new ones I haven't had yet, but I've heard it's very good.
I love mango. It's
Yeah,
just
bitch.
good.
Fuck yeah. Miranda, what are you drinking over there?
I am drinking.
An Occidental Kolsch? Sorry. I saw it was yellow, and that was more of
Wow.
a question than a statement.
Do you want me to share with the class what I'm
Yeah,
drinking, or do you want to
sorry.
read off the
Sorry,
label?
I couldn't see the label. It was just
Fucking
yellow.
Jesus. It was
I'm drinking
just
an
yellow.
Occidental Kolsch.
Also, there are 2 of them.
Well, this one was the one that I was half done with when we started.
Okay.
It's a German style ale by Occidental Brewing Company.
It's good. I had that bitch on here before.
It's very good. It's a Portland company.
Sorry.
It's best east to
That-
west. It's a Kolsch.
That was like a more excited question. I wasn't trying to be a spoil sport,
Oh my God.
but especially because the light is like low in here, I was like, "Is that yellow? Is it an Occidental Kolsch?" It is. There are very few
Yeah,
like
the can
straight
is, like,
yellow
very
cans.
yellow.
Okay, that's true. That's accurate.
I'm having a Level Beer Ready Player One dry hop saison, which I've had on the pod before. But shout out to Level Beer Company. They continue to be the shit. Miranda is wearing the hoodie right now. That's a new hoodie.
And the colors match the Ready Player One.
Yes, I think
like
that is like their. I think this is like their flagship, one of their flagship beers. So that makes sense.
It's like this nice teal color.
And then I have
so gorgeous.
a Miller High Life as my backup. The
Very
champagne
nice,
of
very
beers.
The
Yeah.
Andre.
Every
beers.
time
Listen.
somebody says Miller High Life, somebody has to say the champagne
It's
of
true.
beers. It's
It's
in
a
the
rule.
contract.
True. Oh, Miranda, that keeps shutting off because I accidentally unplugged that computer. You can plug her back in.
Where is she?
She's
Oh,
the
to the wall?
she's the block
big
boy.
block girl?
Yep. Thank you. She's the big block boy. Yep. TM.
She's still aces on the block.
Somehow
God.
we're only 15 minutes in. Usually this takes like 25 minutes and we have
my
nothing
God.
to talk about. So like that's the question is we had actual things to talk about. We all talked about what we were drinking and it's still shorter than our usual intro. We're garbage.
'cause-
That's what we're
Because we're out of
talking about.
practice.
It's great. Yeah, no. One of my friends who is in the master's program, like the real master's program, not the me getting an art degree master's program, like she's actually reading a book. She was like, "Oh yeah, I listened to your
You can read. I've heard.
sometimes."
Someone has to be able to.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I listened to your episode on like Rise of Skywalker," and I was like, "Why?" I forget when we saw her. It was like I think you said something about like how did you like the like 20 minutes or whatever the fuck we spent talking about beer, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just like fast forwarded past that," and I was like, "Yeah, that's correct."
That's
Honestly,
why we
her
do
biggest
it.
mistake was stopping fast forwarding. Should have just gone all the way
Stopped
to
and then lied to me.
And then done the outro.
Yeah.
The intro and the
Exact- I
outro are
mean,
the best parts
once
of this
you've-
podcast.
There's
the end. Once
music.
you've started streaming it or download it, we don't care. That's your value to us as a listener.
Oh my
is pretty much tapped out.
God.
Listen
I would
to
just
the
like to
straight
res-
white man.
I would just like to reply that we don't care either way, and we don't know why anyone listens to this podcast.
We love and
We
respect.
get no anything from anyone listening. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. We accept your accidental slip of the hand to do that.
All right.
It's
Speaking
none of
of
my
accidental
business. It's
slips
none
of
of
the
my
hand.
business why you do that.
Oh my God. Speaking of accidental slips of the hand, shall we talk about Star
I guess.
Wars? Oh God. All right.
George Mann 2 ends.
Correct.
Very good.
It sounds like a fake made up name, honestly.
A little bit.
But
little
hey,
bit.
George,
It's
thank
very
you.
Nom de Plume sounding.
All right.
George
so,
Mannon.
Jesus Christ Almighty. So this week we did something a little different. We usually only cover the grown-up books and YA. We've done one middle grade. Yeah.
Which
Which
Legends
was
of Luke Skywalker.
yes by Ken Liu, which was fabulous. We did that. I don't know when the fuck we did that. 85 years
I
ago.
was just gonna say I'm looking up what the episode was, so keep going.
Love it. Thank you.
I have it open. Hang on. Keep going.
Oh my
All
God.
right, shut up, Chris. Don't shut up. Sorry.
I'm
thank you.
talking, Chris.
It was
And-
in May 2018. Everyone, episodes 47 and 48.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Dad.
Shut up, Chris. This time we are covering a children's book, basically, which we have never done before. So this is going to be fascinating. Number one, because we've never done this before. Number two, because as y'all may know, if you've been listening to the pod for a while, I hate children's books. I have hated children's books since I was in the correct age group for them. Like,
And you still took baby books in college.
I took children's lit in college because I hate Victorian literature more than I hate children's books.
Listen. That's the correct. That is the correct take, by the way.
And I got to read Harry Potter again, so I was like, yeah,
You-
I'll do this.
Yeah, before
Yo, that is correct.
before she ran off the deep end.
It's true.
Hey,
Anyway.
we can still listen to it and read it and be like, remember before she was vocally problematic?
I know.
Yeah, you just read Harry Potter. It's so weird how this book just appeared one day.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. We can talk about whether or not we can divorce people and their art later, especially given when they wrote them and the circumstances.
That's a whole separate pod.
That's not a today topic.
It's
Correct.
not, because I can go on about that for approximately 3
I know.
hours. No exaggeration.
Yes. Look forward to a bonus pod, not about Star Wars. Just what you guys want who consume this podcast.
Oh my god! As if this podcast wasn't bad enough. Anyway, so as some of you know, I went. Much to Chris's chagrin, I went on a rant. Every time I hear about I'm reminded that Dr. Seuss is a thing. I just
Wasn't
Yeah,
he a
playing.
Nazi?
I just want to say, I didn't know it was possible to hate Dr. Seuss, let alone with the vehemence with which Kate hates Dr. Seuss.
Deal with it.
It is impressive.
Wait, did somebody just ask if Dr. Seuss was a Nazi?
Yeah, wasn't he a Nazi?
He's Jewish.
No, he was a racist. He wasn't a Nazi.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I apologize. That is the wrong assumption.
Siri, was Dr. Seuss a Nazi? The complicated relevance of Dr. Seuss's political cartoons was the first thing that came up. But it did say, Siri, does Dr. Seuss Cincinnati? Which I think is also a relevant question.
About asking the hard-hitting
Oh
questions.
my
on the Book Wars
God.
pod. No, Walt Disney was a Nazi. Dr.
That's
Seuss was
the
a racist.
bitch. Yeah. One of them was just a racist.
Just your average one-of-the-mill American.
Listen,
fuck
for
me.
like
Listen.
the 40s, I'll ask the bare minimum out of my content producers.
Also, like,
They're all fucking racist.
Eh,
All right, anyway, let's continue.
that's
Kate's talking about how she hates myths and
that's.
fables.
Oh no, they're still fucking bad. I
was gonna say. I was like.
yeah, none of those are good options, but
Yeah, no, just reiterating for the crowd, we do not apologize for racism or racists. Anyway,
we sure
What's up,
doesn't.
Marvel?
sure doesn't.
That is why we continue to not be covering the comics, despite how fucking cool and good the comics are and how shit stain of Marvel and Marvel is. So great talk, Marvel. Continue
Yes.
to be a shit stain, and we will continue to ignore you.
Correct. All right. So, yeah, no, this book was Chris just like refusing to let me bury the lead there. This book was not my favorite for, lots of reasons, but also I was not predisposed to like this book anyway. So take whatever I say with a very, very, very large grain of salt, like the largest
Space
grain of
Europe
salt.
is the only space that exists.
Which we will talk about why that's actually relevant in a hot second. But anyway,
Sorry. Everything I say is relevant. It's opposite day.
that feels fake. But okay.
nothing I say is relevant, but
Oh,
like listen to
fuck
everything
me.
Kate says, please.
oh, I get an air horn. Thanks.
I'm
All right.
overusing it because I have an iPad that works now, so it's right here right in front of my face. So I will
Oh,
click it as much as I damn well please. This is Air Horn Pod. We're renaming it.
Welcome to Air Horn Pod.
Listen,
Damn, we
where's the
already
lie?
submitted our podcast stage application.
I
Now we're gonna have to
know.
submit it again.
God damn it.
Okay.
right,
things
so-
and stuff. Are these canon? Is what it
Yes.
says
Oh my
on the outline.
Welcome to Kristen reads the outline out loud to you like a
Hey,
storybook pod.
Kristen reads the outline pod means Kristen keeps the podcast moving pod.
Oh my god.
So
I was
It's
trying to
great.
do, and then y'all would shut the fuck up.
It's
Well,
great
no,
because
that was-
that was Kristen
I
distracts
ensured
the
that Kristen would
podcast
read the outline
pod.
beforehand this week because I told her if she didn't, I would vamp for 3 hours and not edit the episode.
It's true. Oh, I thought you said if I didn't add anything to
Oh,
the
no, I did.
outline.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you
I
you have
added
to
stuff
look at
the
it to
outline,
add
and then I told you that you should eat a dick
That's
because I added stuff to the outline.
word for word what happened.
That is canon. Speaking of, is it canon?
Yeah, speaking
Yeah.
of is it canon, let's actually dive into the book after
was a-
24 minutes.
That was a
24
good
and a half minutes.
segue.
So
Fucking
yeah, so
cheers.
So this question comes from Andrew, friend of the pod, Patreon supporter. who asked, do we consider these stories to be canon or more along the lines of Legends of Luke Skywalker?
They'd be different, I think.
Explain.
Oh, why they be different?
Yes.
Because Legends of Luke Skywalker was like, Luke Skywalker did a thing. Did it happen? And these are like, a long time ago in a galaxy. It's this galaxy.
Okay.
Did it happen?
I'm
And
gonna
I'm
be
like,
real.
it's different.
What
I
is this
didn't-
voice?
I didn't
Hey,
read
I'm
Legend.
saying... okay, fuck me, right? Go ahead, Miranda. You didn't read Legends of
I
Luke
didn't
Skywalker.
read Legends of Luke Skywalker, but I don't necessarily see how they're different here. Because I mean, and that's part of my view on whether or not this is like quote unquote canon or not. Because like, do I believe that this is a story in canon? Yes. Is it true? That's a different question. Like this is very much set up to be myths and fables. Like the way that all of the different stories reads, like these are the actual myths and like stories that folks across the galaxy tell to their children. It's like, oh yes, the good warrior came and he saved the village, and I imagine that the stories in Legends of Luke Skywalker are a lot the same, and there's a whole other bunch of points I will probably speak about on the next episode on this,
Okay,
but it's all
let me make an actual point in response to that. Having actually read both the books, which one in a row, I've read both, and Miranda has only read one. Miranda didn't read Legends of Luke Skywalker. That was
No,
before
I know.
she was. That was before she was on the pod.
No,
So, I think Legends of Luke Skywalker has a lot more detail, which is
Sure.
why. Well, I mean, R-rated stories tend to have less detail, right? They tend to be kind of more general and more of like a feeling, and this is how we pass things down from generation to generation. These are like the generalities and the feeling that this myth or fable gives us, whereas like I felt like the Legends of Luke Skywalker gave me more like specific things that Luke was supposed to have done. Whereas like there are some specifics in this, but the Legends of Luke Skywalker stories were a little bit longer, and they told me a little bit more about what he was supposed to have done. So that's why I
Like in what way though?
I mean, I haven't read that in a while, but like I think like the specifics around it, those specifics are what fall out of generational storytelling in a way that we like know exists. Hey, like if you put the number 35,000 into it or a story, it's going to get changed between generations, or it's going to fall out between generations, right? I felt like Legends of Luke Skywalker had a lot more like specifics of this is where Luke was, this is how Luke came to intersect with this specific story, and this is where he went after. Whereas this was more like, we don't know how this person or persons or thing came to be. Here's the story behind it, and this is the vague generalities about what happened after.
I see what you're saying.
So
Sorry, I know no one agrees with me, but
no.
I don't
I
did it when you started, but you convinced me.
Oh my god.
Oh, I still disagree, but I think it's a good point to
you
make.
didn't read Legends of Luke Skywalker.
No, I mean,
Mother of God.
it doesn't impact my opinion on a broader point.
Okay, sure.
Wait,
I
wait,
just
what were you
mean
saying?
like the two books. One gave much more specific information, and one gave much less specific
So,
information.
I would probably more like split the difference between those two. I think
Sure.
first of all, I want to say that in an out of universe context, obviously they're going to be differing levels of detail because one of these is a children's book and
Sure,
the other
of course.
one
They're
is a
both
middle
middle
grade
grade.
book. What?
They're both middle grade.
Myths and Fables is a middle grade book?
Yes.
No, really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's a choice.
I think so.
It's a fucking choice.
I'll look it up.
Thank you. So there's that out of universe reasoning for it. The second thing is, I think, it's probably important to understand what the project of each of the books is, and by that I mean, what is their goal? What is the point of them? And it feels like Legends of Luke Skywalker is supposed to kind of show that whole idea from the end of The Last Jedi of like, we are all Broom Boy, right? We are all Luke Skywalker, as in addition to giving us more information about a character, especially because he has so many lost years that I'm sure will be filled in more specific detail at some fucking point whenever Lucasfilm deigns to do so. I think there's a lot to shade in there, but also a lot of room to play with what is the nature of storytelling and how does that inform our identity. Whereas Myths and Fables, I would say the project is different in that it seems like the author was trying to take your classic fairy tale, which again, like Kristen was saying, takes more just as a characteristic. The fairy tale has broader strokes, it has less detail, it talks more about big themes, it's a lot more about telling than showing, it has a moral, and taking that style of storytelling and putting Star Wars shit in it.
Yeah.
They're both the same age range and grade level, 8 to 12 years, 3 to 7th grade.
Huh, what the goddamn hell?
No, Kate, I agree with you, and I think what I would add to both you and Kristen to what you said is a lot of it I think is time since these stories have originated. Like Legends of Luke Skywalker, the storytelling vehicle is children telling each other stories about Luke in the age of the sequel trilogy. So it's only 30 years maximum since his exploits, right?
And I think that like builds on it just to like, I'm going to intersperse a little bit as you're saying that, Chris, is just like having a space and time that we know what's happening adds to like the detail. Like I think I agree with everything Kate's saying. I'm just kind of like making the contrast of like, we know about what's happening in Legends of Luke Skywalker because we're really given a space and time more than we are in Myths and Fables.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
And I think if, 400 years down the road, if people are telling the story of Luke Skywalker, it appears in a book like Myths and Fables in that style. Because I do think,
Totally.
I think at their core, they're similar stories, but like obviously like to me, and this to come back to the question of canon, like for the Legends of Luke Skywalker, we assumed it was canon that something along the lines of these stories happened. One of them was like a guy saying that he was Luke Skywalker and retelling the Battle of Yavin. I think it's canon that there was somebody who said he was Luke Skywalker and was telling the story of Yavin. I think it's canon that Luke went to a planet and had adventures, like these types of things. Whereas, so like those are very much like games of telephone where details get changed, as opposed to Myths and Fables where a lot of these might be / probably are even in universe intentionally made up, because like you look at our society, like we know that it is real, that it's real life canon that ancient Greece believed in Zeus and Athena and built temples to them and worshipped them. We don't know.
It is canon that history happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we don't know that it's
history
canon that like Zeus came down and like fucked everything that moved, and that's how we get Hercules and all these people.
Are you saying then along came Zeus?
Yes,
Oh
that's
my
exactly what I'm saying.
God.
And like also reading into the fable aspect of it, like we know it is canon that fables and fairy tales are things that are told in our society and apparently in Star Wars. It's highly unlikely that there was actually a race between a tortoise and a hare one day, and the hare just slept through the entire day, and we have a first-person account of how each participant felt during that race. It's probably not canon, but it is canon that society tells that story to make a point.
Sure.
Yes.
You heard it
I
here
also,
first. The tortoise and
true.
the hare is not
It's not
fucking
canon.
canon.
Yeah,
Oh my
spoiler alert.
God.
It did not happen on Tatooine, despite what people have told you.
Oh my goodness.
It's
I forgot that the other
tortoise and
thing.
the space hare.
Oh my God. The other thing I was gonna say that I forgot because I've been doing too many fucking drugs now, having a short-term memory, as I keep telling people.
What?
Is that the way I take it, Miranda, I definitely agree with you in that the way I took it is that they are canon insofar as these are stories that people in this galaxy tell each other. Yes, absolutely.
They belong in this universe.
Right. Yes. So, are they canon? Kind of.
Canon.
It's kind of like, actually, just to bring up another example, we don't mention Harry Potter a lot because J.K. Rowling is the worst, but it's kind of like the Tales of Beetle the Bard in the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
I've
Like-
never read those.
But it's kind of like the story of the Three Brothers, which everybody thinks is, this fake story that people tell to, get their kids to not value power over everything or, whatever the fucking moral of that's supposed to
And
be.
then somebody dug up a dead fucking Dumbledore. It was a whole thing.
The moral
And then
of the
somebody
story
dug up a
is
dead fucking Dumbledore.
be
And it
smart.
turns out
Delicious.
that the original of those stories was a real account. And so, again, are the fairy tale versions of those canon? Probably not, because Ron was babbling on about some shit about, Babbity Rabbity and cabbages or some bullshit.
But that was
God.
not a tale.
Huh?
You don't know Babbity Rabbity.
That's
and
true.
some other shit.
Anyway,
You know what? You're so
Who are
right.
you to judge?
Oh my
But-
fucking
Chris,
God.
I would correct you in saying that we bring fucking Harry Potter up constantly because we are in a Western centralized society in which we don't get anything besides dumb fucking white people stories. So that's the best that we've got for the moment, and that's why
It's
we
true.
bring it up often.
And we're in a certain age group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
more of a.
The youths don't necessarily read so much Harry Potter anymore. Is
Good
what I
for
have
the
learned from my
youths.
students. They're reading that Percy Jackson shit, which is great
Good
because
for them. Fuck.
Rick Riordan actually cares about black people.
J.K.
Rowling.
Rowling doesn't think black people exist. You can quote
Yes.
me on that.
Yes. But also there are aspects of the story that, if for savvy Star Wars fans who are not small children who are only just being introduced to the universe, there are very recognizable grains of truth in many of these stories. I'm not going to say all of them, but
There's a whole last story about Obi-Wan.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole ass story where there's just a picture of Grievous choking a bitch out. So
And Grievous is mentioned by name.
yes.
Like
Is he
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
mentioned by name?
Yeah.
Is it Grievous? Did they say Grievous?
They say General Grievous in the Clone Wars. It is explicitly a story about General Grievous.
Kate,
The
I missed
Obi-Wan
that too.
story is
Sorry.
just about a
And I don't
nameless knight.
I don't think they said his name in the story though.
I think
I think they do.
they do.
Really?
Keep going.
Right,
I'm
Van
gonna
for 30
check.
Okay, yeah, you do it.
Thank you.
But yeah, and the Vader one, obviously, he's the Dark Wraith, which was a very fun twist on storytelling, in my opinion.
Yes.
Kate
Oh, that was
thinks none of this
Vader.
book was
I
fun.
missed that. I don't know.
Well,
Sorry.
we'll
There's
talk.
literally a big
You know
old
I'm
picture of
stupid.
Vader, Kristen.
Listen, some of us can't read pictures.
Oh my god.
TM.
But to bring this back to the question, do we consider these to be canon? I want to take that question a step further. Does it matter? If people believe that these stories happen, or at least accept that they are parts of society that they need to care about, does it matter in universe if it's canon or not?
I was gonna say are we talking? I was like, does it matter if they're canon for people in Star Wars or for us?
For this particular question, I mean in Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay, so in Star Wars, I think they just call that, is it true or not?
Yeah, sure. I was sticking to the terminology of the question.
Is history canon?
Did this really happen?
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
They absolutely don't say General Grievous anywhere in that story.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh, eat my whole entire ass.
Same. What Mom said. I just did a control search on GRIEV and then the misspelling of it. So
Fair.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Smart.
Very thorough.
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Grieving is mentioned in Black Spire. The Witch and the Wookiee mentions grievance. Dark Wraith mentions grievously. So everyone eat a dick.
So close.
It was definitely about Grievous, though.
Of course it was about Grievous, but it
There's a
doesn't
whole ass
say it, so you're
bitch
both
ass
fucking
picture in
wrong.
there.
Whatever.
Jesus.
Words matter.
Oh my god. Anyway, Chris, lick my butthole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's so good, TM.
oh no.
Oh god.
This is not that
Sorry.
pod.
I don't mean
Oh,
it
God.
like that. I
This
just
is not
meant
that
like-
pod.
This got
This
uncomfortable.
guy-
retracted. Oh,
Weird.
no. I meant like as
Anyway.
a general.
And there
listen
goes
to
Kate
Mom.
for another 6 months.
My asshole is so puckered at this moment.
Welcome to Asshole Wars pod.
Fucking crap. Then again, was Star Wars not asshole wars? Because
Star Wars has been
Different
asshole
sense,
word pod
but
this
not
whole,
wrong.
this whole time.
Chris was the second Galactic Civil War not asshole wars? Just Steris and Kylux.
Ayo.
Woo! Anyway, if Jesus, if we are going back to the topic, is it canon in universe? It doesn't matter if it's canon in universe. I think
Most of these
it's
characters have assholes, so I think that's canon.
correct. I think it's significant insofar as knowing where people's cultural like morals and whatever the fuck come from is important in understanding. So it adds that kind of depth, I think, and richness to the universe in that kind of sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still just think these are two different questions, right? Like, is it true in universe? No, of course not. These are literally fairy tales. Does that mean it's not canon from our perspective? Also, no, this is a known thing that we know that they tell us fairy tales. Like, I think I might just have a looser interpretation of canon here.
I want to ask Miranda to read Legends of Luke Skywalker before the next pod almost.
Yeah, it'll take her like half an hour, so yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
know.
a long
Well,
book.
it's 6 words in Miranda words, so.
Miranda's the
Also, I
fastest
think
reader.
I think you'd like it more than you like this book. Not that you
Yes.
didn't like this book, but
This book was for children. I did not.
Apparently was not, however, for children.
it was for middle grades.
Those are still children.
I have it on Kindle if you'd like to. Now we're doing negotiation pod.
I mean,
But let you
is this the prequels?
I would like you to read Legends of Luke Skywalker if you have time before the next pod. I kind of want to hear like your compare and contrast of them being similarly situated and the same grade level. I would be interested. But
Honestly though,
I think
I
the
think
same grade level comment.
they're the same grade level.
yeah, apparently they are meant for the same grade level, which is fucking wild to me.
No, but the way that it was in the question sounded like, "Do you think these are the same grade level?" Which is a very funny quote.
Sure. Sorry. You know what I
but
mean.
it's good quarantine reading. I feel like it's just very.
I was
very
gonna say I feel
escapist.
like Miranda will like it.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun reading. Anyway,
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail the question.
Legends of Luke Skywalker is part of the question, so I feel like that's relevant enough.
My blue children are glaring at me like you would be, so I hope you know that, Mom.
Oh my God.
They are. I mean, in a very positive way, that I'm a piece of trash. So they're literally just glaring at me with red eyes, like, you dumb white cunt.
Oh my God.
So, hey, all white people should be quarantined. What?
It's true.
We just
Moving right
That
along.
is canon.
Moving right along.
That is so canon. That's so canon.
Jesus.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay, this
moving
is-
on to the
this
next
is a-
question
This
from
is aside.
Daniel at Thai Pilot Dandy on Twitter.
Friendo.
Chris, I can't
hello.
believe that you actually like split this into 2 episodes, because it's absolutely 2 episodes because we're trash people. But like, this is the first time that you were ever like,
That I've
This-
actually admitted that it's 2 episodes.
Yes.
Just trying to fit it into one.
I was like, this is 1/3, this is 2/3 of a page, and you split it into 2 episodes. I can't believe you're the one who did that.
Right.
Honestly.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
keep going. Thai Pilot Dandy.
Jesus.
Asked which story, despite being myths and fables, is the best addition to the canon and why?
I can't
wait,
answer
why
this
did
question because
my-
I'm like, none of them. Sorry.
I
That's
like
not my cup of tea.
Why did my
I like the
answers not
Wanderer,
come
which
into
we're
this
gonna talk
out?
about in detail very shortly.
I put things into this outline.
Were they down here?
No, I don't think so. I thought I
Yeah,
put...
you also like inserted half a page worth of spaces in the middle of the outline.
Oh, is that not where we're stopping?
No.
No.
That's where we're
It's not
stopping.
where we're
Can I
stopping.
It stops where Chris wrote stop.
Can I do paragraph?
Oh, I
Can I turn
didn't do
paragraph
that.
marks on?
It
Yeah,
says
you can do
right-
whatever you want.
No, that's a is this possible
Oh my
question.
God, what the
in
fuck
Google
is
Drive.
happening?
It doesn't
All right,
matter.
I'm fixing this.
Thanks.
We're
I didn't mean to do
stopping
that.
here
Also,
where it says stop.
Miranda's hand was by the enter button. It literally was probably not me.
It was
Oh my God.
okay.
Jesus.
Those are fighting.
Also, like, you've accidentally done that several times before. That's the only reason I bring it up. Keep going.
Okay. Jesus, you antagonistic pieces of shit. What the fuck were we talking about?
Actual, yes.
Ah,
What
it's
were
Daniel's
what was
question.
our favorite? What were our favorite stories? Right? Isn't that
yes,
what
okay,
the-
great.
which
cool.
which story is the best addition to the canon?
Oh, that's a different question. Right?
I said mine. Kate's staring at me.
Oh, well, I didn't hear it because Kristen was talking over you.
Sorry.
Oh, I said The Wanderer,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
we're gonna talk about why very shortly.
Lovely. My answer's literally none of them. I did not care for this book, which is fine.
I didn't pick a story because canon is squishy.
Oh, I did put things into the outline. Are they here? I can't read. It doesn't matter.
Did you save?
Yeah, I see them now. I said like the Grievous story because he's who I've wanted a backstory for forever, but I didn't like his story very much.
The story wasn't about him though. Like it was kind of about him.
Well, it was and it wasn't.
and then it wasn't about him at all.
Yeah, so I said what, so his question was like, what's the best edition of the canon? Basically my answer was like, I've been looking for a good Grievous explanation story, and like this is the one that I would have come up with if I wasn't creative or thinking. Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry.
I'm not gonna
I-
lie. I keep forgetting the Grievous story was in this book. Like I just
Right?
keep forgetting it exists.
Like it's
a very
fucking
forgettable
rude.
story.
Oh my God. I
Ugh.
want to call the burn unit, except they're overwhelmed with COVID victims right
like-
now.
And like I'm not, that wasn't even a good burn. It was just like not a good story. Like I'm not creating a better than average burn on it. Like like if I were to guess, I would have been like, he wanted to be a droid because droids are strong, and then droids fucked him up. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Like that's what happened in this story. But like that was something that I've been like looking forward to. I'm like, oh, I hope there's like a good and interesting Grievous story, and there isn't at all. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later, but George Mann is also writing a second collection of basically this, but Dark Side.
Were
And I'm
these not
interested to
Dark
see.
Side?
Sorry?
Were these not Dark Side?
Apparently not.
Like only one of them was.
Yeah, only one of them was real dark side.
But yeah, I'm curious to see what he does with that in relation to how it speaks with this. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Miranda,
I
do you have
see
a favorite?
this. We're going through each one of these, and we're gonna talk about the Wanderer first. Sorry, I'm like, I know I wrote things in this pod, but I wrote them in the actual like explanations of the things.
Aha.
I'm smart. SMRT.
Miranda, what was your favorite story?
I don't know if I had one. They were all fine.
Because wasn't there like
there's- I have a
actual favorite story question
Yeah, there's
down
an
here?
actual favorite story,
There
but
is.
Oh, okay.
I
My
don't
bad.
think
Well,
that there's anything that stuck out in my
No, no.
mind with regards
Yeah,
to
it was in general. It was
adding to
in
the canon.
It was in general thoughts. THOTS.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
General
So
dot
well, then
over
let's
theirs.
move forward and talk about the Wanderer then.
Let's do it.
And the Wanderer was one of two stories that I kind of picked out to talk about.
Was it
if
that
people-
into the microphone though?
I'm literally.
Now that's
Kate,
so
look-
much better.
oh my
That's
God.
10 times better if you put your face all the way into the microphone.
So
I don't
The
say
Wanderer
it
is
for my
one of two
health,
stories,
Chris.
ignoring Kristen, that I picked to talk a little bit more about because I do think that there are some wider things we can take away about the Wanderer and the role of the Jedi at that point. So,
Sure.
as a reminder, this is the story of the Jedi protecting the city of Solace on Karosha. And
is it Karosha or Sorosha?
I have no idea. Kristen, did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to it. I actually read it for once. Sorry.
It's a CE, so I assumed it was a.
Hate to ruin it for everyone.
Oh my
As
gosh.
much as I never remember what the actual pronunciation is. Everyone's like, Kristen, you listen to it. Me. What? What is Star Wars?
Oh my god. But yeah, I assumed it was a soft C with the CE.
We can go with Sorosha.
I don't
That's
know.
fine.
Tom's gonna call us up and be like, "This is everyone was wrong." But anyway, go on.
This is
Tom should
This
we
was,
should have him on
Disney
for a
Lucasfilm
bonus where he
Publishing.
just
no, I know,
pronounces
but I'm
things
saying
for
Tom
an
probably
hour.
knows.
Yeah, he probably does.
Dude, this episode's gonna need so much editing. Oh my god, this is awful.
It's not being edited. Thank you.
Wait, actually,
No, we'll edit it.
okay.
So anyway, so the story, the first question about it is like, when does it take place? Because this one is, very based on events that happened. Again, as we talked about, their veracity is questionable, but the only time period that we get is long before the Dark Wraith destroyed the city. And the Dark Wraith, as we know from later in the story, is Vader.
Some of us didn't get that, but thank you.
You're so welcome, Kristen.
Oh my god.
My headphones fell out. Could you repeat that?
No.
It didn't matter. So this could be Republic era. This could be the High Republic that we're about to learn more about. This could even be before. Honestly, it could be really anything because, centuries get condensed over time. And so
Millennia, probably, honestly.
yeah.
And
But
yeah, no. If we know it's before Vader, then it's long before the Galactic Civil War. And if people don't remember the Jedi by the time of the Galactic Civil War, who the fuck knows when this happened? Honestly.
yeah, for real.
Correct.
And so, but it does tell us about maybe how the Jedi functioned back whenever this time was. And there's kind of this model of mysteriously show up, fight crime, and then disappear.
Batman.
I wrote this on the outline for what
did.
it's worth.
Yo, no, I saw, which was great.
Hey, let it be known that I wrote something on the outline.
Jesus.
But yeah,
I'm not
and
wrong.
Something that's
It's the
very evident-
non-Batman Batman version of Batman.
Yep.
it's the non-bat signal version of Batman, where they're like, I hope this person shows the fuck up, and then maybe or maybe they don't. But like, if that's why Batman created the bat signal, for all of you to know.
Yep.
And that's why I wrote LMAO, this is the Batman model minus bat signal, shining baby Yoda in the sky. That would solve things. Anyway.
Like Baby Yoda's in the sky.
I know. See, now I just want to get an outline of Baby Yoda, like the bat signal, on my body as a tattoo. But
my
keep
God.
Oh
going.
my God, please do it.
No.
Do it.
Why,
No,
Kate?
Mom
Oh my God.
says no.
Kate, I thought you were like open to getting any of the worst tattoos as long as they were Star Wars related.
I have never said that. Just
Oh,
letting that be known.
You've just never said no to any tattoo idea I've ever had.
That's
So that's fair.
fair.
Anyway, back to the Jedi. So
Baby Yoda signal.
he's a Batman Jedi.
Yes.
And so I guess we don't see any of the politics and I have to call the Senate and tell them what's going on of, kind of the late Republic, Master and Apprentice prequel trilogy era. And it feels much simpler in a way. Like, he sees something wrong, he fixes it. Like, there's no, well, what are the pirates stealing for? Like, should we really be stopping the creatures from attacking the city when the creature's home has been attacked? Like, there's none of these moral questions, which obviously they're not particularly difficult moral questions in this case, but there's none of the moral quandaries here.
Okay.
And do we think this is indicative of how the Jedi once functioned? Wow, once functioned.
Suctioned.
They've
It's a great point.
And furthermore, do we think it should be how the Jedi once functioned?
So I'm gonna just poke a hole in that argument, and I think it's a good one. Like, we don't see the Jedi dealing with the counts or any of that like bureaucratic bullshit, but also this isn't necessarily that Jedi's story. This is the people of Sarosha. They have these fucking issues, and then this magic man comes and fixes everything, and like, they don't give a fuck what kind of like administrative tasks this guy has to go through. He comes and fixes their problems, and they're like, yay.
It's so weird that they wouldn't care about the Jedi Council. The Jedi Council is so important.
I think there is definitely something for that argument. In light of what we know about what the High Republic books will be like, I also think there is an argument for this was back in a simpler time, because that era, during the actual launch panel, they talked about how the High Republic was a time when the Jedi were actually knights, and to me that feels, knights usually, I think, pledge themselves to an order or a ruler or a sponsor of some sort, but there were also hedge knights. So I wonder if that is a thing that's going to be part of the lore, the wandering kind of like cowboy sheriff knight guy. I was gonna say knife for a second.
Yes.
Love a
It's the knife.
Love a knife guy.
love a Jedi knife fight.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, they clearly have no idea who the Jedi are. Like, he doesn't come and they recognize him as this, like, shining light of the Jedi Order. They're just like, here's this, like, dude with these brown robes and long hair, and he fixes all of our problems. We don't know who he is, but okay.
But would they know who the Jedi are anyway? I mean, we don't. Do we know where Sarosha is?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, because if they're in the Outer Rim, they might not know who the Jedi are.
Well, yeah, and so, they wouldn't, if they don't know who the Jedi are, they're not fundamentally expecting anything. Like, to come from the politics of that is, I guess, the point that I'm trying to make.
That's true. So I guess the question then is it an issue of procedure or a difference in procedure from modern, quote unquote, modern or prequel times, or is it a difference in perspective?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other question kind of about the Jedi's behavior is it seems like he just kind of has responsibility for this planet. Like he comes when they're in need, like very Batman, like it's very Gotham City. And is that the way the Jedi used to operate, where they, instead of being all based on Coruscant and kind of sent around impartially, do they take more of the Obi-Wan on Tatooine model, where they're just kind of hermits who are there until you need them, and then they come help?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he wasn't even the same guy.
This is only a Myths
Ooh,
and Fable
interesting
planet, by the way.
Huh?
This is only a
Interesting,
Myths and Fables planet.
Thank
I
you.
just looked it up on Wikipedia.
I mean, at the same time, like, we can, if that's how we think the Jedi are operating back then, we can assume that maybe it is kind of like a Wild West situation, and like maybe the Jedi are acting in their knightly roles as like the sheriffs for a certain few systems, you know?
What if it was Jedi quintuplets? What?
Ew.
Sorry, keep going.
It's one Jedi, but he's very fast.
It's so true.
God, that'd be amazing.
Octo Jedi Mom.
Yeah, like that.
I hate that.
And it would be very interesting to see, you know, if this is back in the High Republic or at any other different time. Like, it'd be very interesting to see how the Jedi are functioning and how we see that evidenced here. And hopefully that's something we explore more in canon.
Canon, in quotes.
Yes.
2 ends. Well, 3 ends, but 2 in the middle.
So many ends.
So the last question we have on the Wanderer, if we're ready to move on to that, is again from Andrew, who booped us on both Patreon and Twitter because he's fucking on it. Good job.
Original OG Andrew.
Yeah, everybody else asked us questions because we got like 5 questions on this book, and 4 of them were from Andrew, which is great. Keep asking questions.
Yeah,
Andrew,
he fucking
but
asked
everybody
good
else,
fucking questions.
get
If
on
he
your
didn't
shit.
ask good questions, we wouldn't fucking ask them. But if the rest of you fuckers asked questions, we wouldn't have to ask all 4 of Andrew's questions. This is a PSA.
Andrew has a cute dog.
Yes.
Public service
We love
Big
Kaya.
Andrew
Dog.
announcement.
Yes. So he, his like, 50 millionth of 1 bajillion. I don't know, whatever the fuck. Do you think the Wanderer is any Jedi we know? Which is hard to say because we don't know when this is. But is there someone you kind of like had in mind as you were reading this?
At first,
a
I thought
model.
it was like a Qui-Gon situation because I was like,
Mm.
oh, I could see him doing this. But then I read the other one, the one with the Dark Wraith, and it
Yeah.
just, I know it's not necessarily the most plausible, but like we don't know about the timelines of these folks. We don't know what a long time into them. We don't know anything about the science and physics of hyperspeed.
JJ has established that there is none, so whatever.
Do what we
Cool.
want.
But go on.
But like then after I read The Dark Wraith, I kind of was like, what if this was fucking Anakin? Like that little bitch. If only because like the Wanderer is very much about like some Jedi protecting this city, protecting Solace, and then the Dark, like there are a lot of stories about Darth Vader in the galaxy. And in this one, he punishes bad people for doing bad things. He's like, oh, you're stealing shit?
Guess
Lightsaber
you'll
to
die.
the face. But it's just like very opposite of what we think of when we think of Darth Vader. Like we think of this fucking evil guy,
Yeah.
and this guy's more of a Robin Hood. So I'm like, does he have some kind of connection to the city?
Yeah.
What if Anakin was this Jedi in a past life?
See, when I was reading it, I originally thought it was Luke, solely based on the illustration, which the illustrator could have pulled out of his butt. I don't fucking know. But I when I was reading the outline, I really love the idea of that mirroring with Anakin and Vader, and that's why, the Wanderer didn't show up the last time because he was already there and he was already fucking shit up, so.
That's really cool. I love that idea.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
a
how I
great
read
idea.
it, but I love that idea.
I was gonna
It'd
say
be awesome.
Kate's gonna be mad. I was like, it's canon,
What?
and then he didn't show up the last time
It's
because he was dead.
canon.
What the fuck?
He kept showing up until he'd fucked his way through the city already.
Jesus.
Listen,
Aw,
I
I
don't
love
know.
Kanan.
It was just a thought.
No,
Kanan is a good Jedi
No,
and
I
a
know,
big
I just-
helpful boy.
He's a good Jedi, Brent.
Big helpful boy in
Anyway.
many different kinds of ways if you
Oh
read
my
fan
God.
fiction. But I also like the idea because if you look at the illustrations for the opening illustration for the Wanderer and for the Dark Wraith, they are the same basically.
Yeah.
They're both have their lightsaber in their left hand, I want to say. In the background, you can see that the ruined buildings in Solace in the Dark Wraith illustration are the ones that are intact in the Wanderer illustration. It's a very cool effect. No. I like that.
I like this headcanon now.
Right?
You're welcome.
I read it as just being far before and not in the same era.
I mean, which is also possible, but
But I mean,
wouldn't it be cool if?
yeah, exactly. No, I like the headcanon. I love it.
Yeah.
think
There are no
somebody
rules
wrote-
in Star Wars.
Huh?
There are no rules in Star Wars.
That's
True.
what JJ said.
Somebody wrote, I thought it was Luke, and that is
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when you first started because of the picture?
Mhm.
Yeah. That is, I think, obviously now that we know that the Dark Wraith is Vader, that's like the only one that it couldn't quite be.
Yeah.
Some of us don't know that about the Dark Wraith.
Oh my god.
Some of us just learned that for the first time. Some of us don't pick
If
up on
you-
context clues.
If you go back and look
I'm
at
gonna
kind
go
of-
read it again because I know I'm a fucking dumbass.
There's the thing
this
about
is
the
a-
metallic
this is the
breathing.
theme of this podcast that I don't pick up on very obvious Star Wars things.
Which one
some
is Star Wars?
some interesting details you might want to look at though is the way that in the illustration, the way his helmet is shaped, not necessarily like how it actually looks, but like just the general
The
outline of
shape,
it, and then the
sure.
way they describe the Dark Wraith's powers kind of sounds like
Yeah.
Vader at the end of Rogue One. So
Yeah, I can I can see it and hear it. I just am stupid and don't go.
Okay.
I just don't do
That's-
that in my
okay.
brain hole. So anyway, I don't do that in my brain hole. Does that mean we are ready to end the podcast?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I think we're all done doing it in our brain holes for today.
Ugh.
Thank you for listening to
Ugh.
episode 112 of the Book Wars Pod.
Nope.
As we wrap up, just a reminder and a plea: please stay inside. Please, as much as possibly can, avoid social situations for the next few weeks or months until
Please don't listen to
coronavirus
this
dies down.
podcast if you can help it. It's very upsetting.
Yeah,
You'll just want to run out of the house screaming and beg someone to cough on you.
honestly, just blast this podcast out your window and drive everybody else inside. But yeah, please take it seriously. It is very serious, and take it seriously.
Yeah, no, my friend works as an ER doctor, and her friend from med school already literally dropped dead in the hospital, so don't do that.
Cool.
Please don't.
Our next episode is going to be a wrap-up of Myths and Fables, continuing this discussion, talking about general thoughts on the books and also the story Gaze of Stone. And our as soon as I read that was the title the first time, I knew that was gonna come up.
Motherfucker.
Our next book in a couple weeks is going to be Tarkin by James Luceno. We've been looking forward to this one for a while, so now is a perfect time to get it from your local library's digital collection, to get it shipped to your house, to get it on your Kobo or your Nook. Any way that lets you stay in your house. In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at BookWarsPod. Email us, bookwarspod@gmail.com. And rate, review, and subscribe to both us and the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Stitcher. It's the best way for people to discover the show, particularly as they're all looking for new podcasts to listen.
Not on. Can you rate us? Are we on Spotify again?
Or
I
are we
think
not?
so.
Okay, never mind. I thought we broke
I thought
it.
we were now.
That's my bad.
We
Go
are.
on.
No, you're good.
Fuck.
Also, if you have the means, please donate to the Tosh Station Radio Patreon. It helps us cover our hosting and production costs. And please give us coffee at ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. That in particular will allow us to, if Star Wars Celebration happens, bring some podcast swag. Wow.
Yeah,
what
fuck.
the fuck just happened with my voice?
It's his first puberty. 70
been so
years
long.
later.
Will allow us to bring podcast swag to Star Wars Celebration Anaheim in August. And when you give us coffee, we will post pictures of Porkchop, Orca, and Jasper on the pod Instagram, which everybody wants. Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Book Wars Pod. I am Chris, and for Kate, Kristen, and Miranda, we will talk to you next week.